Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. We are picking up this vlog right where the last one left off. So if you missed that last one, go watch it because I am in the car on my way to an interview, which is nerve-wracking but exciting, and just a lot has changed lately. So this interview is for what I believe is a 4th grade position at a school that I volunteered at a handful of times this past school year. I had the wonderful fortune of meeting one of the teachers last summer, and I saw this position available. I applied, I got a call. We're gonna see what happens. I have no idea. Honestly, considering I have not interviewed in 7 years, I'm not as nervous as maybe I should be.
Hey, are you nervous about your big meeting?
Although, I forgot my keys when I walked out to the car, so maybe I'm more nervous than I think. However, I am embracing not overthinking it, not getting stressed out, and just letting whatever happens, happens. So I didn't cram for this interview and practice answering interview questions, although Billy offered to role play and be my interviewer. I did not take him up on that offer. And maybe I'll look back on this and think that that was not smart because I will feel unprepared. However, I'm trying to embrace just being me and speaking from my heart, and I'm gonna answer the questions authentically, and whatever happens, I don't wanna say is meant to be, because I do think, although I kind of believe that, but I also think there is something to be said about going after what you want and not just, you know, relying on luck or whatever happens, happens. But I'm not stressed out. So I'm gonna head to the interview, spend some time in my car, just getting mentally prepared. Envision Dwight in The Office when he's blasting music in his car before going out on a sales call. That will be me. Probably not that intense, but I will let you know how it goes. So keep your fingers crossed for me. 45 minutes later, interview is done. Let me just tell y'all, I am out of interview shape. That is for sure. I don't know if prepping would have necessarily helped. I think sometimes your best bet is just to answer the questions authentically and truly just to speak from your heart, because sometimes when you search for the right answer or the answer you think they want to hear, you lose that sense of who you are as a teacher. And that's much easier said than done with several years of experience of teaching versus when I was fresh out of college, because I didn't know anything. But I think it went well. I certainly didn't knock it out of the park. There were a lot of questions, not that I remember most of them now because it's all a blur, but there were quite a few where I finished talking and I'm like, Michelle, you didn't even answer the question, or you just rambled and said a lot without saying anything. However, we will see what happens. They said they would have an answer for me by tomorrow. However, it is for a 5th grade reading and I believe social studies position, but there's also potential for other positions to open up. So again, we're just embracing whatever happens, happens. I'm going with my gut instinct on things. I do feel like I would fit in really well with this school if they were willing to hire me, because they're doing a lot of great things in education from what I've seen online, from talking to them, from hearing the way that they talk about their school. And I would love to be a part of it, but oh, my arm is hurting. I'm also apparently out of vlogging shape. I'm just gonna let whatever happens, happens. I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm gonna go home and have a snack. Call Billy, call my parents, call Bridget, let them know my thoughts and what all's happening, but stay tuned. I'll check in when there's something to check in about, I guess. Mini update. I promise to share a full update soon when, hopefully, fingers crossed, I have a full update. But things are happening. I am gonna be jumping on just an informal Zoom interview with the team in about 20 minutes. But if it's any indication, my sleep lately has been awful, which means I have been anxious, which means there is potential change brewing. But it's ironic because I think it was my last monthly update vlog. I talked about how great my sleep was. And suddenly a big life change comes up and my sleep is no longer cooperating, which means I've been up since 4:30 this morning. And rather than laying in bed knowing I wasn't gonna fall back asleep, I decided to go ahead and get up and try to be productive. So I came downstairs, I prepped dinner, which I'm gonna show you what we're having. And again, just to set expectations, I know this channel is geared toward teaching, and that will be the bulk of the content. But as I have said, I really want to embrace all aspects of myself. And if y'all know me, if you've been around for a while, I love me food, okay? I love eating. And whether you're a teacher or not, you gotta eat. So I'm gonna sprinkle in some meal ideas here and there. I love easy dinners where you're just throwing a bunch of ingredients together in a pot or pan. I've previously mentioned how much I love Goodles. I get these from H-E-B, which is our local grocery store, but you can also find them at Target. I think Walmart carries them as well. They have a ton of different flavors. And tonight we are doing the Hey Hey Elote, which is street corn mac and cheese with cotija cheese. But in order to zhuzh it up a little bit, give it some more volume, because look, a little box of mac and cheese is not gonna do much for Billy and I'm gonna be adding in some veggies. So this morning I chopped up these bell peppers. I've shared about this little silicone cover before. I just got a pack on Amazon. In fact, they're right here and they're convenient because you can stick them over top of a bowl when you put it in the fridge. I'm also gonna add in some corn and some chicken, which I just cut up into little pieces. And I found this street corn seasoning blend at Aldi, and I seasoned the chicken with the chili lime salt. So that'll be very easy. And because I've already prepped the veggies and whatnot, it's just cooking up the mac, throwing the chicken in the pan, cooking that with the veggies, mixing it all together, and chef's kiss, hopefully. And since I'm doing a no spend month for June, we are trying to use up as much of what we have as possible. So we'll top it with some more cotija cheese, and then we also have some cilantro. The name of the game is use what is in the fridge before buying anything new. I also went ahead and read a whole nother book this morning when I couldn't sleep. It was a short book. It was only 80 pages. It took me less than an hour, but this was The Dip, a little book that teaches you when to quit and when to stick. It was okay. I'd probably rate it like a 4 out of 5 stars only because it was so short. It did get a little bit repetitive, but I think it has a good message. Like if you've ever struggled with, you know, the dip kind of refers to those moments where things get hard and it's like, okay, do I keep going and pursuing this or do I shift to something else? And I felt like it did provide some clarity, but this was book number 28 for 2024. Since we last spoke, I finished Ready or Not, and then Bridget, not the Bridget in Pennsylvania, but the Bridget that's here in Texas that I met, also sent me this book just for the summer. And I read that as well. I've realized maybe I do like fiction. I just have to find the right kind of fiction. I think this is technically contemporary romance, but I actually really enjoyed them. This is my book stack, by the way. Whenever I finish a book, I put it on the stack and it makes me happy. I'm probably not gonna be able to do it for all 52, but we're gonna keep it going as long as we can. Are you ready for an update? Because I have news. Let's backtrack just a little bit. So after my interview on Wednesday, I had mentioned that the principal said I would most likely hear something the next day, meaning Thursday. Now, I spent a lot of time Wednesday night thinking, and I just kind of had a lot of nerves, a lot of anxiety knowing that this is going to be a big change. It's, if I'm offered this position, a new state, a new district, a new grade level, and a subject that I'm not the most proficient in. I have experience teaching reading, but it's not my best subject to teach. I know that. But Thursday, I was constantly checking for a call and email. It finally was time for me to go to the gym. I hadn't heard anything, and I started to accept that, okay, maybe it's not meant to be, and that's okay. I was thinking back to the interview, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I would have hired me either, because my answers to the questions were lackluster, to say the least. In the middle of my workout, I received a call from the principal, and she said she needed to talk with the team and wanted me to be able to meet at least with some of them a little bit more formally. And so she asked if we could do a Zoom interview today, which I mentioned that I had about an hour and a half ago. And with that, she had a couple of follow-up questions for me. And today, I had the Zoom call, and it went well. I felt like I answered the questions better this time, maybe because I felt less nervous, maybe because I felt more prepared. I don't know, but I felt more me and less nervy in my responses. What I left out is that this is now for a 4th grade math and science role. And if you can't see it on my face and hear it in my voice, y'all, when she mentioned that on the phone last night, you should have seen the smile come over my face, because you know, 4th grade is my jam, math is my jam, science is my jam. Like, those are my favorite things to teach. And with going to a new state and district and having to learn all the new things that come with that, the thought of being at least in a grade and subject that I'm comfortable with is comforting. And it helps to ease a lot of my trepidations. So I just got off the call, a separate call, a phone call with the principal, who said that they would like to hire me for the role. Now, it's not official because it has to go through HR. I'll keep you updated when it's like, yeah, the papers have been signed, I'm officially hired, but I at least have been extended an offer for the role for 4th grade math and science, and I'm so excited. I feel really, really good, and I feel lucky that they want to have me, because the school just seems amazing, and I'm excited to share it with you. That's all I have for now. So let's chat next steps, because of course, with any kind of change like this, if you're like me, you know, your brain immediately starts going to, okay, what all do I need to do? And I'm trying to find that balance between wanting to be proactive, get things done, but also not stressing myself out over it, because I know that no good comes from that. It is almost 1 o'clock and I have barely drank any of my coffee. That's how you know it's been a busy day. But one of the first things I did, mostly to just get thoughts out of my brain, was created a new list in Google Tasks. This is the phone app version, but you can also get to Google Tasks from the side panel in Google Drive, Google Calendar, Google Slides, all of those things. And then within Google Calendar, you can also open it up in a full screen. But regardless, I just started brain dumping those little things that came to mind of like, what can I do now over the summer to make my life easier in the fall? Obviously a lot I have to consult my team about and get clarification, but I'm just brain dumping like little things where my brain started going there. For example, setting up my digital planner. That will be one of the first things I do. As you know, I use the digital planner Bridget and I developed through Teaching on the Double. It is a Google Slides planner. We also have a tablet version, but I thought about doing a whole video kind of with you as I set that up. So stay tuned, because that will probably be coming. But the other thing that I did was create a note in the Notes app, which I just have a folder called Teaching, and then I created a note called Questions to Ask. And again, these are just the little things that came to mind where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need to know about this. I actually have a full list of, I think, over 100 questions for when you get hired at a new school to ask the administration, your team teachers, secretaries, etc. It's a freebie in my TPT store. It's an editable Google Doc. I'm gonna pull that up later. This was just my brain dump this morning. But I will link that list for you if you are interested, while I sip on some coffee. I think it's well deserved. But because we are heading into a weekend, I'm kind of in a holding pattern since right now I just have to wait for HR to contact me. My principal said she's gonna send the stuff over on Monday. They will most likely be in contact with me on Wednesday. And I'm actually traveling this weekend. I'm heading to an event. It's technology related, but I actually can't share any of it. I had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. So I can't vlog it all anyway, which works out well. I'm just gonna pick this up once I hear from HR and fill you in with next steps, and then we can jump full force into doing the things I need to do to get ready. And I wanna be able to get these vlogs out as quickly as possible. So I don't wanna keep you hanging. I wanna be able to post this so that you know I am returning to the classroom as a 4th grade math and science teacher here in Texas. And I'm excited, and I hope you're excited. And I can't wait to share the journey with you. As I mentioned, I just wanna be able to document how I'm going to maintain that passion and cultivate that love for teaching the way I felt when I first started, even though I know it's hard and there's so much to the profession that has changed, but also still embrace the other aspects of what makes Michelle, Michelle. And hopefully that resonates with you. If it does, give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos, especially now, because they're not necessarily going up weekly like they used to. They're just gonna drop randomly. You know, when I have something to share and I've captured some things, I will post it for you. But as always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.